Good evening, friends. On behalf of Team AIG, I welcome our guest of the evening, Professor Shiv Sarin, who happens to be the teacher and mentor to many of us who are sitting in this audience, and is a well-known, world-renowned hepatologist. He has written several books, but today he is going to introduce us a book, where he is going to discuss a book which he recently launched, and he is going to take up through the book. And welcome, sir, to AIG. And we have several guests, distinguished guests in the audience. On behalf of the team AIG, I will welcome you all to this evening. And may I request our Vice Chair, Dr. G.V. Rao, to formally introduce the guest of this evening, Professor Shiv Sarin. G.V. sir.
Good evening, everybody. At the outset, I think I deem it a honor and a privilege to be sharing my screen space between these two gentlemen who are sitting here. Thank you so much for allowing me to share the screen space with Dr. Reddy and Dr. Sarin. It's indeed a memorable day for us to have Professor Shiv Sarin with us today evening. To introduce Professor Shiv Sarin is a commendable thing. I don't think I can do it in a day's time, but I'll try to be as brief as possible. To sum up in two simple words, he is a legend in the field of gastroenterology, legend in the field of hepatology, made name across the globe and made India proud of hepatology across the globe. Dr. Shiv Sarin was born in Jaipur, the Pink City. And no wonder he is in pink of his health in academics, pink of his health in research as in today. He got his undergraduate and postgraduate degree from the famous Rajasthan University, and surprisingly he bagged all the gold medals during that time, and he also seems to have a gold medal in law. I'm not sure about this, but I think Dr. Reddy in his subsequent conversation will inquire about this, the gold medal that he got in his law, and to see how it is useful in clinical practice. This dashing debonair doctor did his DM in gastroenterology from All India Institute of Medical Sciences, the most prestigious one. He broke several records during his tenure and also broken several hearts. Subsequently, after a short stint in AIIMS, actually, he joined AIG Hospital as an associate professor, subsequently became the professor and head and director, professor and head of the Department of Gastroenterology at AIG Hospital. It was during this time, sometime during 2002, I think the Delhi government has decided to set up an institute specialized in liver and biliary diseases, and they've chosen Dr. Sarin as a project director. 2002 it started, 2010 it commissioned, and Professor Sarin became the director, senior professor head, Department of Hepatology, Institute of Liver and Biliary Sciences in Kolkata. Extensive work. There is not a field that is left behind. Basic research, epidemiology, disease prediction, treatment, preventive medicine, AI, you name it, he has got his hands in every single thing in hepatology. Just to give you a few examples, actually he was the first to develop the portal hypertension hemodynamics model in mice, reported the schistosomiasis model of portal hypertension, Subsequently went on to give the first ever classification of gastric varices, first to compare the band ligation with propranolol for primary prophylaxis for variceal hemorrhage, developed various predicting models for cirrhosis of livers, newer therapies, and also to how to prevent ACLF. All these are original landmark papers that he has contributed to, which are quoted over and over again across the globe. For this work in hepatology, he was recognized and the ESL got the ESL International Award. And very truly, actually, Professor Richard Morio says an important phase in his life is the transformation of Professor Sarin from a gastroenterologist to a lab worker. He totally changed from a gastroenterologist to a true scientist, and what all he has done has made big dent in the field of gastroenterology. Obviously, when so much of work has been done, laurels, awards follows. Actually, he's been bestowed with Sri Ram Prakash Basin Award, Shanti Swarup Bhatnagar Prize Award, which is bestowed for the highest award on science. Then he got the FICCI Award from the Prime Minister, then Prime Minister Dr. Manmohan Singh. And then he got the AIG Award for his outstanding contribution to hepatology. And he was conferred with the Lal Bahadur Shastri National Award for excellence in the field of hepatology. He was also awarded by the President the Mahavir Award by the Mahavir Foundation, and also the Vikshit Ratan Award by the Delhi Medical Association. And the pinnacle seems to be the Dhanvantri Medical Award that was awarded by the Indian Medical Association. And this is not the end. Actually, the laurels and the academic honors are innumerable from various agencies across the country and across the globe, have conferred him with various awards. And during this time, the Medical Council has nominated Professor Sarin as the chairman of the Medical Council to develop, and he developed with other members of the board, the Vision 2015, which changed the entire concept of how medicine is being taught in India. Thank you again, Professor Sarin, for your contribution to this and how it changed the medical field. He also is the founding chief editor of the Hepatology International, and he is on the editorial board of innumerable hepatology and gastroenterology journals, credited to have mentored several hundreds of fellows in gastroenterology and over 50 students, PhD students during his time. Perfect orator, phenomenal orator. He simplifies the subject so much that even the medical student can understand the hepatology language. I was once sitting in his audience, actually, way back, actually, that time he doesn't know my name also. He was talking about gastric varices, and he kept on saying GV, GV, GV. I thought he was reminding me that I'm sleeping in the audience and he's trying to wake me up. And I really wanted to know how Professor Sarin came to know me in general, but surprisingly somebody told me it's not you, it is talking about gastric varices. He went on to become the president of the Indian Society of Gastroenterology, the Indian Society Association of Study for Liver Diseases, the president of APASL, vice president of the International Association for Surgeons, Gastroenterologists and Oncologists, and is the chairman of the steering committee of the APASL as on today. The most important thing actually for any scientist, clinician, doctor, if you see this, the indicators of the Web Science, he's got 1,386 publications. See the number of things that he has got actually. Phenomenal thing. I don't think anybody can have citations or disclosures like this. And he's also got the bestseller as on today, which Dr. Reddy will be discussing about it today. The volume that he has written about his experience during his 30-40 years of experience. For all this work that he has done, actually, the government of India has bestowed him with the Padma Bhushan Award. Thank you to the incredible work that he has done during his 30 to 40 years. So initially when we started our practice, we used to say Professor Sarin and liver, or subsequently it became Professor S.K. Sarin became equivalent to liver. As a tribute to this, actually, our AI department made this cartoon for Professor Sarin. AI, liver is no more just liver, it is Professor Sarin, and Professor Sarin alone. He made, surprisingly, this is what I got from your peers. It seems he never smiled during his undergraduate, postgraduate days. These were his pictures. His colleagues tell me that he started smiling only last couple of years. I just want Dr. Reddy to find out what is the reason behind this smile, what has brought this smile on me for the last few years. I think you should reveal this. With this introduction, I invite two of my favorite people, Professors S.K. Sarin and Dr. D.N. Reddy, who are great teachers, great clinicians, great guides, great researchers, great scientists, and both of them are true human beings. And believe it or not, Professor Sarin and Professor Reddy are on the way to the Stockholm to get the Nobel Prize soon. Thank you so much once again. With this, I invite Professor Reddy and Sarin onto the stage.
This is AI. This is John Hopkins chair.
Yeah, this is John Hopkins, that is. So, first of all, Shiv, thank you very much for being here. We are very honored. You're actually sitting on a special AIG chair that we made for you. So, thank you very much. Yeah. So, I think for us it's both an honor and privilege that you're here sharing this evening with us. This, of course, is partly also that we wanted to launch a book here. We have, you can see, an auditorium which is not only full but people standing everywhere. That shows your magnetic personality, that you could attract so many people, because it's very difficult to get so many of them into the hall at this part of the day. So we're extremely grateful that you're here with us, and we wanted to discuss a bit. Actually, a lot of people here are interested in the nutrition, personal life angle and all. But start first by asking you, I think GV has already told us all your achievements in the initial stage. What was your inspiration for becoming first a gastroenterologist and then a hepatologist, when still hepatology was not a subspecialty? In fact, we call you the father of hepatology now because you created a subspecialty. But even before that you went into it. What was your inspiration?
Thank you, Nagi, and I'm overwhelmed with the love, affection, and warm invitation. And I must say, before I go and answer your question, I'm so impressed with the functionality. I came and you invited me on August 15 when this building was inaugurated, and I was one of the first to come here on August 15. And now I see how many times it has grown, and accolades and congratulations to you and your team. A big round of applause. It's just your vision and the collective vision which has made this possible. AIG is a symbol to be remembered for times, and it will be, and it is being written as a legacy of Nage and the team. I also admire GV for his unique presentations. There is no one like GV. I never knew, I never smiled. It's you have to ask the other sex to say whether I used to smile or not. But you made it clear that I actually can smile more. Thank you, GV, and also, I was coming for something, and I must share that I just called Nage that I am coming, and because both of us shared a DS some times ago in Delhi for some meeting, and we all were talking about the book. Another friend of ours had discussed, and I told Nage, and he immediately said, okay, it would be a pleasure for us, and I am indebted to you. Well, changing from gastro to liver, actually I was a liver guy from the very beginning. From 78 when I started working, my interest was in liver, and my first project of 29,000 rupees was a non-cirrhotic portal fibrosis. which I got from ICMR. And those days 29,000 was huge amount. When a JRF used to, are there any JRFs or research fellows here?
Yeah.
Just raise hand, one or two. So those days JRF used to get 400 rupees. It was a big amount for them. And there were people, and I started my labs, and that's how they work on liver. And I didn't look around this side or that. Mainly it remained liver. I used to do some work as there was no hepatology, but as you know, slowly it increased. And the passion was immense for liver, and most of our colleagues who have done the DM with us were all somewhat liver oriented.
So was there a single figure whom you saw, okay, I must be like this person, right from your family to your teachers, or somebody who sort of gave you that thing, feel that you should be like that person?
Well, I must admit my first mentor was Professor B.N. Tandon. We used to call BNT, and he was a huge influence on me, and the perfection and the classes and the discipline. And subsequently, I was very lucky to have worked with Kunio Okuda,
Yeah.
the one who got the Chiba needle and all. An amazing guy. I must share one or two small instances of Kunio. This guy would be the first he was in Chiba, Japan, first man to open the department at 6 a.m. and last one to close on 12 o'clock in the night, and would have 2 rounds of tennis on Saturdays for 3 hours and do fishing and back to the lab. So what I learned with him was the animal model, and then the next guy was Roberto Grossman at Yale, who was on the committee to nominate people for Nobel Prize. Amazing guy, and I learned from him science must be reproduced and you must be the first to produce it. So these were his 2 dialogues which I learned, and I was very influenced. Slowly I learned small things and learned a little bit about liver.
No, so that actually now you are a major influence for us. We look upon what's happening, what you're doing, and try and follow. In fact, 50% of our hepatology department are trained by you. So that's what
They chose to come here and I requested and you said yes, and I'm very happy and I see them prosper. My only message to them is outgrow your teachers. Do better than what your teachers have ever done or can do. So I'm very happy they are under your tutelage and your care.
And coming to your book now, you Own Your Own Body, what made you write this? Because we know that you're writing so many articles, 1,300 articles, big journals like New England Journal of Medicine, and suddenly you write this book for a lay person. We never thought this transition would occur like this.
This is also providence that the book was written. I always, one guy comes and his brother, so he also had a liver transplant, or he also had similar problems, and that's how I realized the relevance of family history. And each of these stories, 21 stories, has been a journey for me. For example, the gallstone. So the first DM thesis in 89 was that gallstones occur in females, and we used to see their parents, and the parents had gallstones but silent. I said this is not possible. The second DM thesis and the third thesis, after 5 years, we said gallstone is a liver disease and it is genetic, and that was the first paper in 95. So that's one of these stories. Another very interesting, and that may interest you, with the pancreas. A girl who was 7 years who came to us, and she had pancreatitis and she was on ventilator. She is now 35. She still comes, and so difficult, and she was chubby and obese and she couldn't get down because of her parents and sister. 2 times, 3 times she got full-blown diabetes. She is in this story. So what are these stories are actually my learnings from my patients, and every time I thought I may or may not be, let me just pass it on as real stories, real science, what I could feel, and I'm happy. Say Urdu, anybody knows Urdu here?
Yeah, mostly Hyderabad.
Mostly. Hyderabad, I forgot.
Yeah.
जिसे कहते हैं ना शिद्दत, बहुत ही शिद्दत से, I mean, there are 40 revisions of this. I would say, no, this may not be. So I screened the whole scientific literature with 300 references. I may be wrong, and I still write I may be wrong. But these were patients, and I'm sure you would have hundreds of them if you just get time to write 500 times better than this book. Is just the way a doctor felt lost when you find the next patient. You say, यार ये बीमार क्यों पड़ गया? If he had known this, maybe he would have been. If that girl would have known that she should have been like this, maybe she would never have fallen sick. This is the...
So most of the book emphasizes on fatty liver disease, and of course people were aware that diabetes is so common in Indians, hypertension, cardiac. Nobody is focusing on fatty liver disease. So you feel that fatty liver disease is not only the incidence, but also it seems to control whole metabolic syndrome in our people here.
You're absolutely right. Fatty liver remains the key.
And what percentage of Indians do you think would be having this?
Well, I would say 30 to 35%.
That's a huge
One in
percentage.
three, 1 in 3 would have. And this is global.
Yeah.
This is global. So the book actually is a journey which I saw, and I'll tell you how it is started. So I used to work in the morning. So people who were going to the cath lab
Yeah.
early morning, and Sanjay Satpathy, many of you may know, he is our DM fellow. He is in the US, he is the chief in one of the New York hospital. So he was the resident. So all those patients going to the cath lab, we would do their ultrasound blindly, not knowing he is going for a valve disease or he is going for a angio. And then we'll realize those who got an angio, instead of a valve replacement or valve therapy, 80% of them had fatty liver without knowing, and the other guys would have 20-30%. Then we got the children, and the Muslim areas, 5-year-old, 7-year-old of the same patient has fatty liver, and this is to 99 or 2000. And since then, I think the idea that fatty liver is very early, you just don't pick it up. And what you rightly said, nobody takes it seriously.
Yes, yes.
उसको भी है, इसको भी क्या फर्क पड़ता है? Doesn't matter. So I think it's a fire alarm.
So you said from children, you're seeing it
Yes.
from childhood, yeah.
From the
So
childhood I have been working.
Even schools have to be very careful
Absolutely.
about this.
Schools need to be careful, the kids have to be careful, but nobody bothers about
But
it.
you find the schools so much of fast food around the schools, and it's actually, if you look at it now, mainly most of the colleges, alcohol around that area is banned. So should fast food be banned around schools also, because it's such common? I know it's not a political question.
Yeah, it's a
but-
political question. What will the education people say? And
But I strongly believe that, because if you have a
I
link-
strongly believe,
Yeah,
actually we are aping the West.
exactly.
We are, if we were having our gurukuls or the way we used to read and eat in your days or my days, we wouldn't have all this.
Yeah.
You know, we would have buttermilk or maybe something like a fresh juice, but not all this canned juice or so. I'm not saying we should ban it, but the people are not aware what to choose and what not to choose, because there is no information
Correct.
on the, let's say, average American student would take colas, and the total fructose in 1 year is 24 kilograms.
24.
24 kilograms of fructose is taken, which is the main cause of fatty liver.
Yeah.
So nobody is aware and nobody talks about it. And if I tell them, all the cola companies will come and they'll find a guy to eliminate me.
No, but I think it's a lifestyle disease mostly. And you think that, especially in Hyderabad, we have a lot of these IT guys whose lifestyles are, this fast foods, no time for exercise, different
Yes.
type of lifestyle. So you believe it's a lifestyle, and that the change could
Yes.
actually change whole thing?
Both the things are there. I would say, how many of the people here do 40 minutes to 45 minutes of exercise with sweats? Please raise hands. Mohan, I know. You are consultants, but not the young people. I only see the guys here raising hands. How many of you do 45 minutes of exercise means sweating? Please raise hands. Little more. Not many.
Yeah.
So this is the major.
Just to interrupt, in fact, a couple of years back, I was there's a conference in Japan, and I was in the conference attending with Shiv, and I thought I was very excited. I go there early in the morning at 7 o'clock, and I see that Shiv is already there from 6 o'clock, vigorously cycling, sweating. I was a little worried, and then that was very inspiring. Yeah.
Thank you. I remember you.
Yeah.
That's a very nice memory. So we did a Delhi survey of 18 to 25-year-old under a project we call SMILES, Stronger India through million health educated student. Would you believe only 28% of the boys and 35% of the girls walk 40 minutes a day.
That's
Exercise is out, they just walk 40 minutes a day. So that's a terrible thing. What will happen to their children, I don't know.
So I
Just
think-
no walking. Come to the bus, take the car to the university and back.
Yeah. In fact, somebody was telling me the other day when they're reading a book, treatment seems to be very cheap. Exercise and fast, that's it. And then you don't get this. So no cost involved. And what about sleep? What is the importance of sleep? Sir? Many of them want to know whether that's...
So in the book, there are 4 lifelines.
yeah.
Lifelines, the first one is about, and I want you to read it, not because I have written it, because, you know, normally people are fond of what they say and what they are. They only speak about themselves. But I'll give you before I answer you. So I went to the station, I mean, like for today, yesterday, I was in the queue. So there was a guy who looked at me, "Are you Dr. Sarin?" I said, "Yes." "Sir, please look at my neck." I said, "What?" He said, "Sir, please look at my neck. You have given a photograph." I said, "But how do you know?" "Well, my barber told me." My barber told me that you have this line and you should go to a doctor and here I find it. I was in the queue for the
Yeah, so in the book, Sarin has written about a line on the neck which indicates insulin resistance. So if you have that, you must immediately see a doctor because that indicates insulin resistance and metabolic liver disease.
Yes, but I was happy the barbers have come to know, so that you don't need doctors now. It's a public health.
So I think you should put your book in all the barber shops also.
I would love to.
Waiting.
I would love to do that. And
And what about this controversy about alcohol? There are some people who advocate saying it's good alcohol industry, and recently we saw you on TV news. I mean, not a news; it was an interview where there were some doctors supporting alcohol. I knew that you're very uncomfortable with that. And what's your view on that? Because Hyderabad people like alcohol. After Punjab, it's the second highest.
so about sleep, I think restorative sleep first is 7 hours is good. Howsoever tired, howsoever overworked, give your body a time to relax. And if you sleep 15 minutes less, you gain weight. If you sleep 1 hour less, you gain weight. If you sleep, and you know it better than me. So as far as sleep is concerned, a restorative sleep, park all your worries to the God. Ask him to give you in the morning and you never get anything. So it's all parked with him. And alcohol, yes, it's a huge debate between cardiologists and the liver guys. Well, if you are drinking to bring your cholesterol or lipids down, it's a wrong thing.
Yeah.
You know, you're using it as a medicine. Oh, red wine, I'll be better off, my arteries will open up. So if you are drinking to make your heart better, it is wrong. Yeah, if you're drinking on your birthday or your wife's birthday, it's okay. But not on all friends. So I met somebody, he came for something in the hospital. "Do you drink?" He says, "Sir, kabhi kabhi pita hu." मैंने कहा कभी कभी, बोले सर संडे को नहीं पीता. Then there was another guy with him. I asked him, "Do you drink?" "No sir, बिल्कुल नहीं पीता." फिर मैंने कहा तुम शक्ल से तो लगता है तुम पीते हो. बोले नहीं सर, I only drink when it is free. I said, "What do you mean free?" बोले every evening somebody offers me, so I drink. Otherwise I don't drink. So there are ways, but yes, alcohol is a socially accepted toxin. It's a toxic and carcinogen. Now, just recently, the Surgeon General of America has said that alcohol is it should be labeled that it is a carcinogen. That's 3rd of January.
Also, it has to be labeled.
Yes, it has to be labeled as a carcinogen.
But there seem to be some safe limits. I'm not trying to push alcohol,
No,
but
no.
seems to be some safe limits that people advocate.
How many of you drink alcohol? Raise hand. Dr. Nagi is not seeing. You can raise hand. Very few.
No, they're shy.
They are shy. He is trying to help you to relax. Well, it's good to relax. If you can relax without alcohol, nothing like it. If you can't, well, I would say peg is all right. But don't quote me.
I think before we go a little further, I'll ask Anand Kulkarni. Anand is here to read out some of the interesting passages from your book. I think this is
Okay.
Anand.
To be frank, I feel so nervous standing in front of two giants I don't know what I should say, but I have chosen a chapter number 21, because this is the Gastroenterology Hospital. We have all the gastro people and our colleagues here. This is the chapter on I have severe acidity and gas. My daughter has this too. Why? This here, Dr. Sarin says that it can be due to metabolic ill health again. Shruti used to bring her mother, Lakshmi, for the latter's indigestion and acidity issues. She was in her mid-20s, fair and charming. I remember her for her impeccable manners and deep respect for her mother. She would dutifully open my chamber's door for her mother and would carry her medicine bag and medical reports. Lakshmi was plump, her bumps and bulges were more than prominent. She had a severe burning sensation in her chest, which aggravated to an unbearable intensity when she lay down. She had undergone an upper endoscopy which showed esophagitis and an inflammation in the food pipe. Lakshmi had only improved partially with drugs and had come up for follow-up. This is how Dr. Sarin has put it in a simple way, how to write a book, in fact, if you are a physician, if you are a doctor, if you are an MBBS student, you can read this book and understand how to write as history taking. Also, if you are a patient, you will understand what is the role of metabolic health. He has put on all the 4 important aspects that is lifeline for all of us. One is on food, one is on exercise, the one is on sleep, and 4th is medicines, which actually you should avoid. I think you have to read this book for not only for yourself, for your family as well, and how to be an empathetic physician. I have been trained by him. I have been very lucky to be trained by him, and I have been working under Reddy. I think I am the most luckiest in this hall today. I have 10 recommendations which he has quoted in his last pages for people who want to live a healthy life with a healthy family, which I will read 1 or 2 of them. Make a family tree and determine if you have descended from parents with unhealthy genes. If any one of them has disease such as obesity, diabetes, blood pressure, stroke, dyslipidemia, high cholesterol, kidney disease, liver disease, gallstones or cancers, it is a red flag. If not, it is a green flag. Make a note of which group you belong to. Get your metabolic and physical health checked. Record your current health records and keep it assisted. Carry your red bag always. Eat healthy, eat how much ever you want, sleep for 7 hours, practice good dinacharya, that is what is maintained in all these pages. Early to bed and early to rise, practice fasting, light and early dinner, work to achieve adequate and quality natural sleep. I think there are multiple things which I can quote from this.
Thank you, Anand. Thank you. So,
Yeah, Anand, I will just elaborate on the first, because I think what Anand has read, and thank you for making him read, is something which is very close to my heart, and you would probably agree with that. When we have, let's say we are 40, 50, we say, oh, my father will give me this property, my aunt will get me this car. We only say, what will I get in inheritance from my parents? And these are all physical inheritances. Physical means property, car, something. We forget that what we get inherited from them are also diseases. So my grandmother had diabetes, my mother had this. So what I am going to get this? My father had this, my grandfather had this, what I will get? Now if I have all this and my wife has XYZ, what will be the children? So the first and my most important message, commandment is, make a family tree of illnesses that you have inherited and what you are likely to transmit. So if you are in the green lane, means nobody in the family had anything and you are healthy, remain in the green lane. If you have inherited something, but you are okay, you are in the yellow lane. If you have inherited something and you are also unwell, you are in the red lane. So red lane should come to the yellow, and the yellow should try to be in the green, and the green should remain in the green. Do you agree with this?
Yeah.
All right, so I've changed few hearts.
So you have this 50 tips in this. Of this, which would be the 3 top tips that you'd advise everybody?
Yeah, one of the tips I don't remember exactly. First tip is the health is a family business.
Yeah, that's very clear.
Health is something, and you never talk of family business. How many Sundays do you sit and say to be healthy? You only say ये दवाई नहीं खाया, तुमने blood pressure check नहीं किया, तुम डॉक्टर के नहीं गए, आंख नहीं दिखाई. But how many times the family sits together and say that we should do this to remain healthy. We'll go out, we buy things. So first thing is health is a family business, and once in 2 weeks on a Sunday, 1 hour we should spend on the family business. And the youngest in the family should be given the charge to give his scoring. And the head of the family means the lady should be the boss. So the boss is the wife.
But she's always the boss.
She's always for the. I agree with you. She's always the boss. But she should decide कि घर में क्या खाना आएगा, क्या खाना बनेगा, क्या किसको मिलेगा. And the youngest one will say, Dad, आज आपने 10 किलोमीटर नहीं दौड़ा, ये नहीं किया, आपको 0 मिला, 0 out of 10. So the youngest is the one who keeps the scorecard. The family business is run by the head of the family, and health is a family business. This is one of the tips. Do you agree with this?
Yeah.
So will Hyderabad change? The second tip I would certainly like to say is, do not produce if you are not healthy. You have no right to bring a child into the world if you are having any of these 10 things: diabetes, blood pressure, overweight. And this also was part of a story. Because the newborn has a right, वो जब 10 years का होगा बच्चा, he will say, look, I am overweight. Why? Because you were overweight, you were diabetic, you were hypertensive. Why did you bring me in this world? So first try to be in perfect health to have a perfect child. And if not, try to improve. Wait till you get a perfect understanding between. So this is the second tip, that don't produce if you are not healthy. And maybe the third tip is on longevity. The third tip is death of aging. You can remain well by making your muscles well, and the importance of slim, fit, chiseled body and having owner's pride and neighbor's envy, Onida, is the message here. And I would like to say that own your body, don't outsource it to doctors, no need to go to doctors, own your body. Only rarity, traumas and others, you should go to doctor. These are the 3 main tips maybe.
Yeah. And finally a personal thing. How does Professor Shiv Sarin's day look like? What do you eat? How do you exercise? What do you do for people to follow? Yeah.
Well, I think you and I are almost the same on that field, and many of our colleagues. I have a good night's sleep, come what may, and try by God's grace and genetics. So I have a good sleep, I get up early. I have 1 meal a day. What you call is Shakahari, Masahari, Ekahari. So I'm like a Ekahari, I have 1 meal. But yes, I try and have 60% of my food as uncooked, and only little bit of is the cooked food. And certainly I eat before I go for parties. I would be there for meeting people but not eating. These are some of the things. People don't think that I am a monk. I am not a monk or a saint and all that, but it's just the way I grew up.
Exercise,
Yeah, I definitely go for an hour for gym every day. Whatever
comes.
takes.
I think these are important messages to youngsters
Yeah,
here.
absolutely. 1 hour a day is a must for me.
And like GB said, we wanted to know why you're starting to smile more nowadays.
Well, I used to smile always, but people never used to take my pictures. Now some of these, Providence that I gave some interview and it became popular. I don't know how. And now people start, so I think my smiling pictures are taken more, like yours. But I do smile when I have warmth of people, love and affection. And
And finally, the last thing, Shiv, I've heard you many times with these shairis. We want you to end this with a nice shairi for us.
how many are below 30? Raise hands. Wow! And you understand Hindi?
Yes, yes.
So first on love and the vision.
Yeah.
Suddenly I'm reminded of, I'll say three shairi.
Yeah.
How many of you have read anatomy? Many.
Yeah.
So I'll tell you about the function of orbicularis oculis, the eye muscle. So how do you teach a girl about the function of eye? This is a teacher telling the student. I wish I have such students. पप्पा से कहती हो, पापा father, पप्पा से कहती हो हमें खंजर से मार दो, पप्पा से कहती हो हमें खंजर से मार दो, अरे हम तो यूं ही मर जाएंगे, जरा आंख मार दो.
Wow, wow.
So that's the function number one of the eye.
Yeah.
The second function of the eye, you have to be serious to listen and understand. नजर डगर में, डगर रास्ता, नजर डगर में, नजर चमन में, in the नजर डगर में, नजर चमन में, नजर को मैंने नजर से देखा, नजर डगर में, नजर चमन में, नजर को मैंने नजर से देखा, नजर मिली जब नजर के ऊपर, नजर मिली जब नजर के ऊपर, नजर को झुकते नजर से देखा. How a boy meets a girl, and well, the last of the good one is from Meena Kumari. You all remember the famous Meena Kumari?
Actress.
टुकड़े टुकड़े दिन बीता. Has anyone heard this? This is the way she lived while drinking alcohol. But see the depth of her heart and the pain Meena Kumari had. टुकड़े टुकड़े दिन बीता, धज्जी धज्जी रात गई. रात भर नहीं सो पाई, दिन भर उसका टुकड़े टुकड़े दिन बीता. टुकड़े टुकड़े दिन बीता, धज्जी धज्जी रात गई. जितना जिसका आंचल था, उतनी ही सौगात मिली. आप इतना बड़ा आंचल रखोगे, भगवान उतना ही देगा. हैव फेथ इन हिम, लाइक मीना कुमारी सेज. टुकड़े टुकड़े दिन बीता, धज्जी धज्जी रात गई. जितना जिसका आंचल था, उतनी ही सौगात मिली.
Fantastic. So thank you, Shiv. Thank you very much for that very nice insights. I know the wisdom that you're given, and I think we'd like to give a standing ovation to Shiv Sarin for. Most of them are students. All of them are many students here. I'm inspired. And now it's the time, I think, to ask Dr. BVR Mohan Reddy also to step onto the stage for the inauguration of Sarin's book. It's already in the market, but we thought it would be a very special occasion here. Dr. BVR Mohan Reddy is the founder of Science Company. He is himself a great educationist. His book, Engineered in India, has become a bestseller, selling thousands of copies everywhere. He is the counterpart of Shiv Sarin in hepatology in engineering, and he's also now, of course, he's a Padma awardee, and he's actually been now into education. Is of course, he had more than 7 honorary PhDs or DSCs given to him, and is very much into education, governmental education policies. Thank you, Minu, for being here. So I think we'll get Sarin's book in a unique way. Let's get his book before we don't want to get it from the side here, but from somewhere else. Can you get the book? Yeah. So we'll, and I hope all of you have received a copy of this book. Yeah, they'll be available. We've got about 400 copies, so you'll have to rush. Don't rush because stampedes are worried nowadays. But you can go in an orderly fashion and get this book. Yeah, so you get this book, one of them. And in fact, when I took this book, I just read it. It took me a few hours to read it. I just read it very quickly. Yeah.
Wow, let's use your slide.
No, he'll drop it here. Yeah. So it drops it because the wings are actually there. Okay, you have to open it. Yeah.
So you hold this like
Yeah. Chapter. Jimmy. We request Dr. Mohan Reddy to give a few words.
I truly will say for a few more minutes, no more than that. I'd like to congratulate Dr. Shiv Sarin for the outstanding book he has produced. I think it's extremely relevant, Dr. Sarin, especially the times we live, especially since we have enormous amount of challenge in terms of the work-life balance. Today, there's so much of pressure in terms of work. To balance yourself, you need to take care of your well-being, and that's what I think the book addressed. I am not so good at reading books like Dr. Nageshwar Reddy is. He said in 2 hours he did. I tried my best given that I got the copy last night. And I think it resonated very well and it aligned with some of my values. And 2 values that I cherish, and I thought, they came out so well in the few pages that I read, was one is about ownership and the second one is about discipline. And amazing it was. I own everything that I do, and you say, own your body too. That's what you say. Thank you very much for that. And certainly I think it's a very serious reminder to all of us that you are the custodian of your body. There's no external person who's going to look after you. It is you who have to do it. And certainly I think it resonated further when I read the preface from Bharat Ratna C.N.R. Rao. I used to be his student at IIT Kanpur way back in the 70s. And he says that, by acquainting yourself about the manufacturing defects that you have, which are basically your genetic defects, but thereafter making sure that you can tailor your habits to ensure that you can tailor your habits to ensure that you will have your body engine at its best. So I really liked what CNRO said, and that's a reflection of the book itself. So congratulations again, Dr. Sarin. I thought we heard lots about you as a good person who has tremendous amount of scientific wisdom. You were a great teacher, a researcher, but now you also become a good author for the well-being of the whole society. So thank you very much. But I can't step back without saying a thank you to AIG and Dr. Nageshwar Reddy and Dr. G.V. Rao. They are amazing doctors. I'm sure every one of you is part of their team. You're all great doctors who are sitting here. But equally important is the fact they run events of this nature to help the society understand what wellness is another great characteristic of theirs. I'd like to compliment them and thank you on behalf of the society. Thank you, thank you very much. Thank you for listening to me.
Thank you, Mohan. I think we'd like to felicitate Shiv Sarin for all his achievements with...
I'd like him to sign my book, all right, but I'll do that.
Yeah.
Thank you.
So this is Hyderabad Charminar, in a very special Charminar for you. This is Ashtalakshmi in silver. It's a very special Ashtalakshmi. Yeah, Ashtalakshmi. It's in silver. Done very, very unique. Of course, you know Ashtalakshmi. Ashtalakshmi is
The goddess of wealth.
well.
What is a well done?
Yeah.
Lakshmi, I know, but Ashta Lakshmi is
Eight Lakshmi.
8 times
Eight-
more money.
eight-
Eight
eight
formations,
Lakshmi.
eight
Eight
formations.
So we'll get all this onto your car. So you can, we'll put it on your car.
Sign
So-
my book.
So thank you, Shiv Sarin. I think give the vote of thanks. I like Dr. P. Rao to come over to give us the vote of thanks. Come, we'll go and sit, P. Rao.
Thank you very much, Nagi. I think it's my proud privilege to propose the vote of thanks. And see, both the people, today is a very memorable day for us, all of us, because a 3 Padma Award is sharing the platform and for a unique purpose here, right? And we saw both Professor Reddy and then Professor Sarin, both are tall, and both are tall in stature and also in the physique. And both are Bahumukha Pragnasali, that means multifaceted individuals. All the 3 are multifaceted individuals. And on the professional front, you know that world knows. And in fact, there is no award in the respective professional societies which they have to offer. They have cleared all the awards there, both from the government side and also from the professional sides. And leaders created world-class institutions, ILBS and then AIG. And on the government side, they have been on the advisory boards on many of the things, be it medical ethics or be it medical education. And you've seen in the lay press, how they have been invited to be in the medical administrative bodies in the government. And the crusaders of the fatty liver. And especially, I must say that here, that it was Professor Sarin that initiated the government program to include the fatty liver in the national program for the prevention, control, cancer, cardiovascular disease and the stroke. And India is the first country which has included fatty liver program in the national program. No other country has done it, and Professor Sarin has been responsible for this one. And they have immortalized some of the things. Among many things, 2 things which stand among many things. One is Sarin's classification of the viruses and Nagi's stent, right? These are going to be there for long, and then people, whoever talks about these things, they have to mention, quote these 2 aspects, right?
And on the personal front, both have got a unique feature of a calm, cool, pleasant, whatever it may be the stresses which they have been facing, and easily approachable. Both of them have seen both closely that anybody can go to them, just to knock at their door and then go there, and then they don't need any permission to talk to them. And these are the unique features of both the leaders, and I have traveled with them and then for decades with both of them, and then I happen to be a student of Professor D. Bhaskar Reddy, illustrious father, pathology professor in Kurnool. And also, another thing I would like to share you that I just, because of my age, I just happened to be a junior faculty when Dr. Reddy joined PGI, and both of us, I am proud to say that are the same alumni, that is the Kurnool Medical College and PGI, right? And with these things, I thank Professor Sarin and also Dr. Reddy for a wonderful thing which you have enlightened all of us in this. Professor, thank you very much. And GV, for as Professor Sarin has said, that the unique way of presentation, there's a unique way. Normally we come and then we take a paper and then read it. But the way he has presented is exemplary, and also his idea of the drone, dropping the book here today, and he is the backbone behind most of our procedures here in which we do it, almost all. And then he is so meticulous in doing everything, and it's my proud privilege and also thank him for this, and then Anand Kulkarni for enumerating what has been written in the books, and last but not the least, for the press, the media, and the audio visuals of AIG, who has given us such a wonderful platform, and all of you for gracing the occasion, and thank you one and all, please.